カーディ海賊のビデオ見えちゃった？
なんでわかるんだ？
この毒が大好物。いただきます。
Kaizoku Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Nen Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped, featuring 3 new designs. To celebrate, they're running a spring sale. Buy one and get any classic mat 40% off with code SPRINGSALE. Plus, Nen10 automatically saves you 10% at checkout. And you can stack this with my code CARDKaizoku for an additional 5% off on top of that. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Discover Western OP10 lists and Eastern OP11 lists on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, so OP11 is out in its entirety. I probably meant to upload this before the set released. But yeah, I've been busy with all my collab videos. It kind of got away from me to make this review video. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at OP11 cards. Probably going to be doing 2 different videos. So this will be red, green, and blue. Right, that's how it has been in the past when I do one of these set reviews. But yeah, it'll be the first time I'm looking at these cards. I'll just give you my first thoughts and reactions on them, and then any synergies that I could come up with on the spot. And then it might be fun just to experience reading these new cards together in case you haven't seen these yet. All right, let's get started with red. Oh, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. My collab era is coming to an end, so it'll be back to regular programming in a bit. But I still got a couple more coming out, so I'll try to weave in non-collab videos in between too. But yeah. Okay, with that out of the way, first off we have Kobe, the new red-black leader. They're still trying to make this color combination work. Will Kobe be the successful try here? Let's take a look at what he does. So 4 life, 5000 power. That's pretty standard for dual color. Your sword type characters can attack characters to turn that they are played. Okay, so they can attack rested characters, and this gives them rush. This gives them that pseudo rush, right? Or is it that they have the ability to attack if they had rush? I'm not too sure about that ruling. I guess I'll have to look it up. Once per turn, when one of your navy type characters with an original power of 7k or less is removed from play by your opponent's effects, instead you may place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so that seems to be like a ongoing theme with red-black. Because like the red-black Sabo leader kind of does the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but it has like, here you read it on screen here. I'm not going to go over it in too much detail. But yeah, it looks like Kobe Bryant here does the same thing. It protects a larger character, 7k power or less. But you need to have cards in your discard. That's fine, right? This is like a free, almost free ability. You don't have to really pay anything because stuff ends up in your discard anyway, naturally, right? It's not like a cost to fill your discard. It's just something that naturally happens. And then that first part of the leader ability, I'm gonna have to assume that it gives characters pseudo rush. The character itself doesn't need to have rush already to attack another character, that is. So we're gonna go off that assumption. It could be different by the time we get to the end of the cards if this seems like too broken of an effect. But it really is interesting, right? Even though it's a black card, even red has a lot of removal based on power. Black has removal based on cost. This one sounds more like a green effect, right? It rushed to attack into a character, right? So they can still counter out of it. You just need to have enough stats and enough attacks to whittle down your opponent's resources. So red-black is a starved deck that protects your own characters, it looks like. Let's take a look at the rest of the sword cards. It might be kind of weird because some of them might be in black too, right? Because I'm only looking at red, green, and blue. I guess we'll just go with the way we originally planned it. So Ain is the first one here, who is not a sword type character. That's a Film Neo Navy. So it's not a Kobe card potentially. 3 cost, 4k power, 1k counter. 3-4-1 is how I'm gonna denote it from now on. So on play, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 1k power during this turn, and KO to one of your opponent's characters with 0 power or less. Oh, okay, that's like what's her name? Robin. This one? Right, you can KO a 1k power or less character this way. This is tech to kill like 4 cost Rebecca's with 0 power. Her. Right? They pop this out, you just kill it for 1 dawn with Robin. Now with Ain, it's more of a significant body, 4k power. And it kind of KOs the same threshold, right? If it had 1000 power. Giving it minus 1000 power makes it a 0k power. And in fact, they might be even more flexible because you could give minus 1k power to something else and then KO Rebecca because Rebecca already has 0k power. So yeah, I like it, but it kind of did look like Rebecca's time in the meta was starting to shift. Because I think right now the top meta decks are Green Purple Luffy and Purple Blue Luffy, and then Doflamingo. Then after that, it's like Teach. So Lucci is like the main Rebecca user at the moment, and I don't think he's near the top at the moment. At least not in the top 4 or top 5. But still, I like the effect. It's just that I don't know if it's right for the meta right now. but still minus 1k to something is great. I don't know, if she was like a chopper, an animal type chopper, I think that would have been really good. I'm not sure on this card. I think it can be usable, just it doesn't seem like apparently overpowered, but I like it. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much more time on the card. So Usopp there's this new cycle of cards where it's 2k counters that are vanillas, right? They have almost vanilla stat lines, 5 cost 6k power, but it's a 2k counter. I wish purple got this because that means you could run a 2k counter that you can cheat out with Luffy Taro, right? 5 cost 6k that you can cheat out wouldn't be too bad. Maybe it'll come eventually, but so far, I looked ahead in purple, but we don't have a Straw Hat purple 2k counter. Vanilla. But yeah, you'd run this because I think it's pretty good just to play out when you have nothing else to play. Okay, our first Navy sword type character is Peacock, 1 cost, 0k power, 1k counter. On play, look at the 5 cards on the top of your deck, reveal to 1 Navy type card other than Peacock and add to your hand. Okay, so it's a on play searcher for 1, but weirdly enough, 0k power. This is something new. And then the seagulls are really realistic in her art. I'm distracted by them. Okay, activate main. Oh, she has another effect. You may trash this character, give it to one of your characters, plus 1k power during this turn. Oh, interesting. So it's a weenie searcher you can play out that doesn't end up becoming an attacker because she has 0k power. It's hard to make her attack, right? It's 5 Dawn investment, half your Dawn for the turn. As compensation for that, you can just get rid of her on board to give plus 1k to something. I mean, yeah, it's efficient, right? You pay 1 Dawn for her, and then later on you could give that 1 Dawn value you invested in her to somebody else. This also kind of is a detriment to like Black Smoker because Black Smoker needs like a 1-drop in play to buff himself for 1k. So this like removes the outlet from him. He can't get that free buff. He'll need to use his -1 cost more strategically. Is he the only one kind of hit by this? I think so. I guess it plays around Liberation too. Here, let me show you. Liberation, the OP10 event, because you need to have 2 less characters than your opponent. So if your opponent plays a lot of searchers like this, if they just like pop the Peacock, they'll never meet the requirements to activate Liberation, right? That's one way to play around it. But other than that, it's just a 1-cost searcher. I guess it's like not usable in Zoro type decks, weenie decks, but for every other deck, they don't really attack with their searchers anyway, except for like that 1 turn that you have 3 Dawn to spare early on. So yeah, I welcome this new cycle of searchers, this new style. I'm assuming they're going to print more of these for the other archetypes too. Okay, looking at the next card. It's Smoker, Navy type card, not sword. So it can't be protected by the Kobe, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. Blocker. Dawn times 1, this character cannot be killed by effects of characters without the special attribute. So it's kind of like Logia effect. I don't know, it just seems like a 4 cost blocker and it's not synergistic with the Kobe leader, right? Is it? Oh, okay. The KO or removal prevention is for all Navy, not just sword. It's just the sword ones can attack. So yeah, okay, that changes things. It's a blocker that's pretty sticky. I think there's some better black Navy blockers, but yeah, I don't know. The stuff that interacts based on the character's attribute, like slash, special, or strike, none of those seem really relevant at the moment. They all just seem like kind of too specific, kind of like shitty effects. I hope they correct that someday and make it actually relevant, but for now it doesn't seem like you care if the other character is a special or strike or anything like that. So I'm kind of meh on this card. Up next is Zephyr, another film card. 5 cost 6. Are these for Uta? Red, purple Uta? Maybe. So Dawn times 1 when attacking up to one of your opponent's special attribute characters gain minus 5,000 power during this turn. Okay, yeah. it just depends on your opponent running special, but then I don't know. I just feel like that's something you can't account for. So I'm gonna say that this card isn't too great. Kind of a waste. But yeah, minus 5k is significant. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Maybe there will be a meta at some point where every good card is special attribute, in which case Zephyr might be actual tech. Okay, Tashigi, 1 cost, 1k, 1 counter. Activate main, you may rest this character. If your leader has a Navy type, give it to one of your characters with the Navy type, plus 2,000 power during this turn. I guess. But the thing is, Kobe's protection doesn't prevent removal based on combat. So they can't just swing into the rested Tashigi and then Tashigi dies. There must be a way to bounce her back to hand. But she's not even like a Punk Hazard type character to work with Red Blue Caesar. Because the background is Punk Hazard, but this Tashigi is just a Navy type. So I don't think this will be used unless there's some synergy that I'm not aware of that I'm missing. Doll, 4 costs, 1k counter, blocker. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader has a Navy type, give it to one of your opponent's characters, minus 6,000 power for the turn. That sounds pretty good, right? So it's 4 cost blocker and then another card in your hand to give minus 6k. It turns any brick in your hand into like is there any minus 6k effects? Trying to compare it. Gamma Knife? That's 4,000, right? 6,000. Yeah, Gamma Knife is 5,000 power. Okay, so I don't think that's too bad, right? something that's better than Gamma Knife that you could just turn any card into and you have a blocker in the end. And she has counter. I actually quite like Doll. Okay, and yeah, as a blocker too, hard to remove because of Kobe. So that I think Doll works really well in a Kobe deck. And then minus 6k makes it so that the other sword characters you have can attack into a character that you debuffed really easily. So yeah, this is like the most synergistic card we've seen so far. Other than the Searcher, of course. Okay, we have another Nico Robin character. 3 costs 4k, 1k counter. Taunt times 2 when attacking. Give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power until the end of their next turn. Ooh. Okay, so this is like pretty heavy debuff, but there's other Robin cards that kind of do something similar, right? This one KOs, this one KOs. Nope, nothing else really debuffs something like that Robin does. And I think this is like a promo Robin that I don't have the image for. I'll fix that. Oh, you guys don't have access to this deck builder anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's actually, I don't know, pretty good. Because it lasts a whole turn, right? Once it passes back to your opponent's turn, it's still debuffing them. So in a way, it's like Rayleigh. Okay, that's somebody I can bring up. This Rayleigh gives minus 3k and minus 2k power to something, and it persists for a turn. But the thing is, Robin will probably die on the clapback. You swing for 6, give minus 2k to something. Yeah, I don't know. If it was on play, like the Rayleigh, I think it would have been a lot better. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this Robin will be used. At least I don't think so. If it would be in Starter Deck 21 Luffy, right? Because you can like play around with a lot of the Rested Dawn, so it could give 2 Dawn to that Robin to utilize. Up next is Hibari. I actually kind of like her character design. One of my favorite new characters introduced. And I say new, but I think she showed up in the manga like over a year ago. So 5 cost 6k, no counter. On play, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power during this turn. Okay, yeah, that's what we wanted to get from this Robin. It doesn't persist though, but I think that's fine. We can utilize it the turn that we play her. When attacking, this character gains plus 1000 power during this turn. Then if your leader has a Navy type, give it to one of your leaders. The ability to attack active characters during this turn. Okay, that changes things a bit, right? So you'll play Hibari, give minus 2k to something. And then when you swing with Hibari, which you can because of Kobe's leader ability, you can swing into a character that you give minus 2k to, 7k into something you've debuffed. Or you can swing 7k into something you didn't debuff, and then if your opponent had an active character, give that minus 2k and then swing at it with Kobe. So on your 5 Dawn turn, you can swing 7 into a Rested and then 5 into an active. I guess so, yeah. And then that would burn a lot of cards from your opponent's hand. Yeah, can't ask for anything better than that, right? I think that's pretty good. Oh, it's an SR too. Okay, that makes sense. This is probably like the key card for a Kobe deck. And then we have a Vanilla Film Neo Navy. Okay, bins. They run the 4-cost bins back then because what was the reason? I forgot, right? This guy was run. I remember they ran him because he was a special type character. There was something that like countered Slash, but I don't quite remember why. But that's why people ran bins instead of like a Zoro Vanilla or something like that. Or Sphinx even, I don't know. But yeah, we have a 5-cost Vanilla of him now. He's only relegated to Vanilla territory. Okay, Frankie, 4-cost 4k, 2k counter on your turn once per turn. When your opponent activates an event this turn, all your characters get plus 2000 power during this turn. What the heck? This kills Nami, right? This deck here, this deck is a deck that's like what? 30 cards of events and then 20 cards of like characters to play out, so they're like super disincentivized to play events to deck out because it'll just make all your weenies bigger. But is this for a weenie deck? It seems like it, right? Because the more characters you have out, the more benefit you get from this. So it makes it so that your opponent doesn't want to use an event until it's the last attack for the turn, or else every other attack they have coming will be buffed. This is really interesting tech, and the fact that he's a 2k counter too means that he's like slottable into any deck. So I quite like that. Right, I think this is the direction you want to go. You want to have effects that counter certain gameplay styles and then make it a 2k counter so that it's not like a dead card in matchups where you don't need it. I don't know, is that too overpowered? I kind of like that kind of philosophy, so I really do like this Frankie card. It gives us counterplay for a future event heavy meta, but it's still runnable just as a 2k. So yeah, I like it. Prince Groose, 1 cost 2k, 2k counter. When attacking all of your opponent's characters with the power of 2000 or less, can't activate blocker for the rest of the turn. Okay. But yeah, he's a 2k counter in the sword type. And then I guess he can get pseudo rush with this Kobe here, right? Even if your opponent has something really big. Like let's say they had like a big 5 cost 7k character out and a bunch of 2k power blockers. You can play out the Prince Groose. You can attack 2k into the 7k. Even though it doesn't kill the 7k, now all your opponent's characters with the power of 2000 or less can't activate blocker. So then you can swing in with your other stuff to go for game. So I guess you can use it that way. Other than that, it's just a 2k counter. So yeah, like I mentioned with the Frankie, At least you can use them for that if your opponent doesn't run 2 cost blockers or 2000 power blockers. That's about it. But yeah, it's a welcome addition to the deck. Okay, we have Borsalino, Film Navy, 3 costs, 3k power, 1k counter, blocker, and then activate main. You can rest this character up to one of your Navy type leaders or characters can attack active characters during this turn. I mean, I guess that's nice. But yeah, it's a blocker that can be saved by Kobe's leader ability, so can't complain. I like that, at least. It's a chump blocker. Yeah, we'll have to see if this like attacking active thing works for black and red. That's kind of Green's thing so far. Or even black too, right? The Dressrosa stuff. Oh, but yeah, Kobe is black, so I guess it's not too out of the ordinary that Kobe can do it. It's just that these are red cards that are allowing it to happen. And then we have Mocha, just a vanilla. I think all the Mocha cards are vanilla. Oh, nope, I lied. There's a 2k counter Mocha, but then the other one's vanilla. She's always just running away. Give her other stuff. Only these scenes are used for her cards. I guess this one's nice, but we have a new Zoro card. Hey, he's looking clean here. Okay, 5 cost, 6k power, 1k counter. Activate main once per turn. Give it to one rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Ooh, okay, that's not bad. I mean, of course, it synergizes with Starter Deck 21 Luffy really well, right? That Dawn you give him can give you access to 2 more Dawn that you use to pay for Zoro or something. Or even on future turns, it just gives you like so much more Dawn to work with. Right, in total it's like 3 Dawn you can shuffle around with that Zoro out. And then you can also combo with this Nami to give even more rested Dawn around. And this Luffy as well. I also think he's great in a Zoro deck itself, right? Because he needs 1 Dawn for his leader ability to activate. So Zoro, helping Zoro activate his leader ability sounds great to me. It's just that I wish like he cheated out like another body or something. Because yeah, it's kind of hard to slot in this card into an animal Zoro deck because it's not an animal. But I don't know, he got that dog in him, so I consider him an animal too. So I will be willing to try it out in the deck at least. Okay, I have X-Trick, vanilla, 6 cost, 7k, 2k counter, and a Navy Sword and Drake Pirates type. Okay, so Kobe gets one too. That's nice. Okay, we're going on to the event. 6 cost, Honesty Impact. On main, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 4k power during this turn. Then kill to one of your opponent's characters with 6000 power or less. Then trigger KO a 6k. Oh, the trigger is really devastating. 6k is a pretty big stat line. In a Shanks deck, you could potentially KO a 7k this way if you use your leader ability on something, but you have to know this is on the top of your life, so I don't know. But yeah, is this good as removal? 6 Dawn is really quite expensive, but you're able to KO a 10k power character this way, right? Because 10 minus 4 is 6. And actually, yeah, I really do like when they disjoint the effects, because you can give minus 4k to something else that you want to attack into and then like pop one of their active 6k power or less characters. It doesn't have to be the same target. So actually, I kind of quite like this, right? It's 6 Dawn to kill almost anything, right? Anything outside of a 10 cost 12k attacker. It pops everything else. I don't think there's any 11k. Oh, hold on, I shouldn't say that. Probably is. Oh no, there aren't. Oh no, yeah, I have it filtered for Zoro. Okay, so there's 3. Right, Luffy, Shanks, and Edel, but everything else, oh, he buffs himself to 12, but everything else is fair game for this Honesty Impact. So yeah, I like it. Clay Web for 2. Counter event, give it to one of your leaders or characters plus 2k power during this battle. Then if your opponent has a character with 6000 power or more, give it to one of your rested, or give one of your leaders or characters plus 1k power during this turn. Then trigger, give a leader or character plus 1k power during this turn for the whole turn. Okay, let's see. This is good. I don't think so. It's 2 Dawn for 3k counter max. Or I don't know. I feel like it's particularly good against Blue Doflamingo, but that's it, right? Because Blue Doflamingo has a bunch of 5ks they're gonna throw at you. Or 6ks even. You Clay Web, make yourself a 7k, and then if they have a Weeble or something, you make your leader a 6k. So every other attack for the turn needs to be a 6k, but you're having to waste 2 Dawn for that. I don't know. I feel like that's not too much of a preventative tactic against Blue Doflamingo. And then yeah, it's not as great into other leaders unless weenie playstyles get a lot more popular in the future. Right, it doesn't really help you too much against like Purple Luffy or anything like that, because his attacks are a lot bigger. So I don't know. I'm meh on this. Excalibur, 2 costs on main, give 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2k power during this turn. Now to one of your Navy type characters gets plus 1k power during this turn. I mean, stat wise, it's really efficient, right? It's 2 Dawn to give minus 4k in total, and then plus 1k. So it's kind of like if I treat each one of those as 1 Dawn, what is that, like 5 Dawn worth of stats for 2, if you want to count it that way. Then on trigger, you can KO a 4k or less, but it's only buffable on Navy type characters, so you're restricted to these ones here. I mean, I guess, right? Because of the fact that our leader gives sword characters pseudo rush, and then a lot of these cards make you able to attack active characters like Hibari and Borsa, so you'll always have targets to hit, so you don't lose out on the minus 2k being spread to 2 different targets. I feel like it's usable. Yeah, that's my first gut impression that this card might be pretty good. Okay, so that's red. Moving on to green, we have 2 leaders, so let's go over them. Jinbei, so happy Jinbei. So he's a 5k, 5 live, mono green. End of your turn, if you have 6 cards or less in your hand, set it to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type characters, and up to 1 Dawn is active. Oh, so you get a character and a Dawn. So that incentivizes having good green Fishman events. And then you're protecting your characters, which isn't the worst. But yeah, the Kobe has ways to attack into it though, so maybe this is like the counter to Jinbei. So let's just move on to Shirahoshi. Dual color, green, yellow, this leader cannot attack. Okay, it's back to that cycle of cards. Right, she joins, cannot attack, and leader, card type. This cycle of cards, Iceberg, Vivi, Rebecca, Vegapunk, now Shirahoshi. Characters that have other effects, but then they lose out on being able to attack, so hopefully her effect makes up for it. Let's see what she does. Activate main once per turn. You may rest one of your Dawn cards and flip the top card of your life face up. You may play up to 1 character card with a Sea King type or Megalo character card with a cost equal to or less than the total number of Dawn cards on your board from your hand. Okay, so it's not straight out cheat any card out from your hand. It still has to be within the realm of your curve, but for 1 Dawn. So in a way, kind of like Kalgara, without having to take life, you reveal the top card of your life. That also means that if you don't have a card from your life that you can flip face up, you can't cheat anything out. So I guess it just depends on the support in the set. So let's go over it. Our long in a tank long, our tank, 7 cost, 7k power, 1k counter. If your leader has a Fishman type, you have 3 or less life cards in your life area, and your opponent has 5 or more rested cards on their field, this character gains -3 cost while in hand. Ooh, that's really interesting. So really restrict requirements, but you get a 4 cost 7k, who still has counter too. So you get that 3 or less life. That takes a while because Jinbei and Shirahoshi both have 5. This might actually be green yellow Arlong card, right? This one, because when you're at 3 life, he's a 4 cost in your hand, and he has trigger, so you can't play him out with your leader ability for 3. Right, just playing out a 7k body here is pretty nice. Yeah, he does have that trigger, rest of 4 costs. So actually not a Jinbei or Shirahoshi card. What the heck? That threw me for a loop. You introduced 2 new Fishman type leaders and you don't even print support for it as the first card. Right, OP11 it's the very first green card in the set. That's not a leader. Okay, Aladdin, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. When this character will be KO'd by one of your opponent's effects, you may trash one hand. I guess this proxy is grammatically incorrect. You may trash 1 card from your hand and rest 1 Dawn card. If you do, play up to 1 Fishman or Merfolk type character with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. So it's like replace itself when it dies kind of effect. But it's not on KO, it's KO via effect only. But I guess it's not too bad of an idea to run, right? If you kill him, you just play out another character. You can technically play out this Arlong if you're at 3 life and all the other requirements are met. So yeah, I guess it's alright. If it had blocker, it'd be really nice, but I guess you can't have everything. Okay, we have Ishili. I don't remember who this is. 2 costs, 0k power, 1k counter. Once per turn on opponent's attack, you may rest 1 Dawn card and this character. Give it to one of your leaders or character plus 1k power during this turn. Turns one of your Dawn into 1k counter, I guess? I don't know. Doesn't seem worth it to me. We have Uroko. Sea King, 6 cost 8k power, 1k counter. Just a vanilla. Okay. We have Gyorome. 4 cost 6k power, no counter. If your leader is Shirahoshi, this character can attack characters same turn it's played. Okay, so you're just Kobe, right? Kobe's effect baked into a character. So green still has access to this kind of effect too. It's shared between green and black, it looks like. And red now. What happened to unique color-bound effects? Yeah, Gyorome, I guess, not too bad, right? You cheat him out for 1 and then he can attack. Lord of the Coast, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. On play, up to one of your opponent's rested characters will not become active on your opponent's next refresh phase. Oh, and it's not even like cost restricted. That's pretty good, right? You keep something kind of rested forever. Not forever, just on the turn you play it. It's similar to Bonnie, the 5 cost Bonnie. This one here, right, does the same thing. It's a little bit cheaper actually, and it has a trigger to KO at 3 costs, rested 3 costs. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Okay, we have Charlotte Praline, 3 cost 4k power, 1k counter, blocker. On play, rest it to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or lower. I don't know if that's going to be relevant, but it's still a blocker for the deck, any deck. All right, another Shirahoshi, another 1 cost 0k power. I think all Shirahoshi characters have 0k power. All right, let me verify that. Yeah, huh. Why won't they give... they won't give my girl any attacking stats. Let's see what she do though. Activate main, you can rest 1 Dawn in this character. Look at the top 5 for a Sea King or Fishman Island type. Okay, so it's a tap searcher for that archetype. Yeah, it's a welcome addition. Ooh, look at that Jinbei art. So 6 cost 8k. On play, if your leader has a Fishman or Merfolk type, rest it to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. Activate main once per turn. Up to one of your fishmen or merfolk type characters can attack characters the same turn that they played. So yeah, it's just the Kobe effect again. But the good thing is that Jinbei lets you rest something to attack into, right? Meanwhile, Kobe has to depend on Hibari and then like Borsa to attack active characters. This rests as a character for you to attack into. But it has to be 5 or less. I wish this lets you let your leader attack, like at least the Jinbei leader, because I know Shirahoshi can't attack, but oh wait, technically, never mind. Leaders can attack anyway, so scratch that. Editor, cut that part out. I don't know, it's an SR, but yeah, I guess you just target yourself, this character, right? So you rest a 5 drop and then you swing 8k into it. Eh. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of mad on this card. It's good, but it's nothing like amazing, worth being an SR. Right, if this was a rare, I think it would be just as good. Okay, moving on, we have Sudume, 5 cost 6k, 2k counter, vanilla 2k. Then we have Tori, another vanilla 2k. And then Hachan, another Hachan card, 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter. Activate main can rest this character if your leader has the fishman or merfolk type. Up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less may not be rested until the end of your opponent's next turn. May not be rested? That means they can't attack, but 3 or less. So it's like at most a vanilla 3-5 if it wanted to attack, right? Otherwise it'd be something like I don't know, this Borsalino. If you don't want him to rest it to be able to make one of your navy type leaders or characters attack into an active character, that's one way you can deny with Hachan. I don't know, that seems way too specific. Is this card ass? What in the 3 cost or less realm of cards do you want this to prevent that you're willing to invest 4 Don to stop it? Yeah, I don't know, this seems kind of bad. Right, you could stop like a Shirahoshi search, all the tab searchers, but then for 4 Don, is that what you want to do with 4 Don? I don't know. Okay, so we have Fisher Tiger. He's just a common 6 cost 7k power. 1k counter. When this character would be killed by one of your opponent's effects, you may trash 1 hand card and rest 1 Dawn card. If you do, play up to 1 Fishman or Merfolk type character with a cost of 4 less from your hand. On play, rest one of your opponent's characters. Okay, so it's kind of like Aladdin, right? Except Aladdin seems better because he cheats out a higher cost, 6 cost or less. Fisher Tiger is 4 or less, and then the offset of that is that on play you can rest one of your opponent's characters. But I think I prefer having the higher costed target from Aladdin instead of Fisher Tiger being able to rest. But it rests any cost. I don't know if that becomes relevant in the late game. Nah, because then you're wasting 6 Dawn to rest something. You only have 4 Dawn left over to do something with. I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, Madara. Wait a second. Infinite Tsukiyomi? Okay, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. On play, if your leader is Shirahoshi, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal the 1 Shirahoshi or Seeking type character card and add to your hand. Ooh, okay, so it's a attacking stat line searcher, on play searcher. That's really interesting. Right, for 1 Dawn, you cheat it out, and then you play it out, pick up a card, attack with it the next turn. I like it. But the weird thing is, so far, I don't see any green cards that manipulate life. So I was hoping the Shirahoshi had cards that like flip cards face down for her to use her leader ability again if she happens to counter and not take any life card as damage. I guess that's in the yellow package, which we won't get to in this video. So we'll do like a revisit later on. Okay, we have events green, 1 cost, the ancient weapon Poseidon. This is a spoiler, isn't it? This is the most spoily card. So you guys can't complain about me spoiling the series when this 1 cost uncommon event does the same thing. Okay, on main, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal to 1 Seeking or Fish. Okay, so it's a event searcher. Top 4 for 1 Dawn, not bad. We have Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, 1 cost event. It's a main and counter. If you rest one of your Dawn cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. So 2 Dawn to rest of 5 costs. On counter, up to one of your leaders, only leaders, gets plus 3k power during this battle. I guess that's pretty efficient, 1 Dawn for 3k, but only leaders. But people run Divine Departure already for that. But Divine Departure's main effect is a lot more useful because you can just outright KO something. Now, let me bring it up. This one here, right? It's 6 Dawn to KO and 8k power. This is 2 Dawn to rest of 5 costs. I don't know. I guess it's not too bad. Not the worst thing. Vagabond Drill. 1 cost counter event. What am I looking at? Well, anyway, on counter, if your leader has a Fishman or Merfolk type, give it to one of your leaders or characters plus 3k power. And then rest it to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's same thing as Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. It's 1 Dawn for 3k. But it's leader type locked, but you also get to rest a 3 cost or less that can rest a blocker to go for game next turn. It's similar to old favorite. What's it called again? Something Punk Gibson, right? You can counter for 4k for 2 and then rest a 4 drop. This lets you rest a 3 drop. So yeah, really reminiscent. Then trigger rest a 4 cost 2. Yeah, I think it's pretty usable actually. Okay, moving on to blue, we have a new leader, which I think right now at the moment is like terrorizing the scene. It's a top meta deck for sure. So in case you don't know what he does, 6k power, 3 life, purple and blue, Monkey D Luffy. yeah, another 6k 3 life leader, similar to Red Purple Luffy. His effect is pretty insane though. I looked at this card back when it was first revealed, so you may activate this effect at the start of your turn. If you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one Straw Hat Crew type card, add to your hand, then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck, top or bottom of your deck in any order. That's a key distinction, top or bottom. So that means you can set up cards to play out with 9 cost Sanji. This one here, right, on play, you reveal the top card of your deck, and you can play it out if it's a 9 cost or less, non-Sanji card. So the fact that we can take a card from the top 5 and then put the remaining 4 back on the top in any order means you can set up the Sanji really well. And essentially, it's an extra card draw once you're at 8 Dawn or more. You do have to have 8 Dawn going into the turn, right? So if you're starting the turn at 6 Dawn, ramping to 8, you actually don't draw yet. It's when you're going from 8 to 10, or 9 to 10 even. That's when you can use the effect. The start of the turn happens before the Dawn phase. But still, right, getting to that point is not too hard. There's so much ramp in purple. And yeah, from that point on, you're just getting an extra card. You do start at 3 life, right? That's a detriment that Red Purple Luffy has to deal with for having the elevated stat line. I honestly feel like that detriment is kind of erased in this leader, because the downside of only having 3 life means that you're 2 less life cards or 1 less life card as a resource available to get from your life, right? Because life cards go to your hand, right? It's a resource you can use. This is completely solved with this card because you're getting extra cards from your deck later on in the game. So if you activate this, at least it kind of already pays that downside of being a 3 life leader, because you're still dual color. You just get the benefit of being a 6k power from that point on. So yeah, honestly, I think this is a really strong effect. A lot of people were saying that like 3 life means that you're not going to survive to the point where you can get benefit from it, but I think right now we're seeing that that is completely not the case. You can easily get value out of this card, and you just, from that point on, scales. You get even more free value as the game goes on, right? Into the late game, the late game. Because as we mentioned, just 1 card draw already pays for the detriment. So from that point on, it's just like you're playing with house money at that point. Oh, we have another leader. Okay, we went over like all the leaders in this video. So blue, yellow, Nami. It's 5k, dual color, 4 life. So that's the standard kind of stat line for that. On your turn, once per turn, you may activate this effect when your life card leaves the life area. Draw 1 card if you have 7 or less cards in your hand. Then Dawn times 1 on your opponent's attack once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand. This leader gains plus 2000 power during this turn. Okay, so it's a really complicated leader effect, right? So on your turn, when you either take life, that counts, or if you're like rearranging cards from your life and then like exchanging it out from your hand, there's cards that do that, right? You take a card from your life and replace it with a card in your hand, that counts. That triggers that Nami. If you have 7 or less, you draw a card. So yeah, card draw is not bad. Then Dawn times 1, opponent's attack. If you trash a card, you become a 7k base leader on your opponent's turn. That's really defensive, right? Right, 1 trash card to have permanent 2k counter. This lets you use any brick to do it too. So yeah, insanely defensive leader that draws you a bunch of cards. Let's see if the rest of the set supports her, or I don't know. She honestly sounds like a good stuff blue-yellow deck that just runs a lot of the past big drops. And then she'll be sharing the card pool with this Luffy, which plays completely differently. So we'll see how that ends up being. Okay, we have Veto, which is not a Straw Hat, so I don't think this is usable in either deck. 3 cost, 4k, 1k counter. On play, you can trash a fire tank pirate type card from your hand. This card gains rush during this turn. Okay, so it sounds like they're gonna make a Bedge leader in OP12. That would be cool, but yeah, for now, nothing really benefits from that. They're using the blue slot to print Bedge leader support. Okay, so it's something to look forward to. We have Ichiji. It looks like a Reiju card. 7 cost, 7k power blocker. On opponent's attack once per turn, if you only have characters with the Germa type in play, you can activate this effect. Up to one of your leaders or characters gets plus 1k power during this battle. And then trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Okay, this is obviously a Reiju card, right? This 4 cost ETG gives it an option to cheat out another type of character, because you can cheat out a 7 cost ETG with this card. So you have access to the purple one. Now you have access to a blue one as well. That's actually pretty cool. I like that actually. And this one's super offensive, minus 2k and then rush attack. This one is more defensive blocker, and then you can get plus 1k to something as defense, and then you can trash top 2 cards of your deck, which can fill your discard with more of these effects that you can cheat out with your Ichiji. So yeah, actually quite nice. I don't know if you want to run it as a 4-of though, because I do think the purple one's like infinitely better, but it's like an option when you whiff on that 7 cost purple one. We have a Judge character too. 6 cost 8k, activate once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand. All your Germa 66 type characters get plus 1k power during this turn. I don't think this is usable. He doesn't even have counter. Yeah, I don't think there's a slot in the deck for this card, because it's not like you're gonna go really wide anyway. And this doesn't buff like the Foxy Pirates, the Porsches and stuff. So it's, I don't know. I don't think this is too great. We have another Niji. It's a vanilla 5 cost 6k, 2k counter. Now, would you want to cheat out this Niji over the other one? I mean, I guess you have the flexibility to, right? You counter him for 2k if you draw the 3-drop later and you don't have this one. This guy will naturally be in your discard anyway, so you can just cheat out a 6k this way. 3 Dawn for 6k. Yeah, it's not bad. It gives you a reason to not run the Foxy Pirates package and just run like a pure Germa type package. Because you even need that to activate this Ichiji anyway. Okay, there's another Yonji. So the other one is a 4-cost 6k blocker on your opponent's turn. Oh no, always, right? Hold on. I gotta look up what he does. I haven't used him in a while. Okay, if you have less Dawn than your opponent or equal Dawn, then he's a 4-cost 6k. This one though, if all your characters are Germa, this character cannot be killed by or rested by your opponent's effects. Okay, so it's a super sticky blocker. And yeah, if we're being forced to run only Germa type characters, that means we're cutting out the Portias, the Choppers, the Foxies. So yeah, I could see this in a world where you're only running Germa type characters, and then the 8-cost Judge will be a lot more effective. Right, not this one, but this one, the purple one. Because you get to actually run all 4 siblings instead of just Ichiji and Reiju. Speaking of Reiju, we have a 4-cost 5k 2k counter Reiju. On play, if your leader has been spoke family type, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal to 1 card with Germa and add to your hand, and trash the rest. That's amazing. What? Right, so not only is the original Reiju really good, because you can just draw 2 cards and then your leader lets you draw another card on top of that. This one gives you a targeted search, so you can like search for the 2-cost sibling, and then everything else gets trashed. So if you happen to pick up another Reiju or like Ichijis on the way, you'll have it ready to play out from your discard with your 2-drop or the 4-drop Ichiji. And it's a 2k counter too, so it ends up in your discard anyway. You can like even cheat out this instead of the draw Reiju from your discard. What the heck? Reiju got super buffed. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any cards that would benefit Luffy or Nami yet. We have a Bedge character. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. We'll build to 1 Fire Tank, Pirate, or Straw Hat Crew. Okay, cool. With the cost of 2 or more, add to your hand. So it's like the Law Searcher. Law can search Straw Hat, but 2 costs are higher only. And he himself is not a Straw Hat, neither is Bedge, but they aligned. Oh, spoilers. But yeah, I like it. He gives you can dual search in Luffy, right? You have the Law and the Bedge to search. And it gives Nami a Straw Hat search in blue. I don't think there's one in yellow, is there? Yeah, there's too many to go over. Okay, so up next is Carrot. 1 cost, 1k counter. On play, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and then rearrange it in any order. Is this a Doflamingo card? On opponent's attack, you can trash this character, give it to one of your leaders plus 1k power during this battle. Okay, so it's a rearranger if you need Doflamingo, or an effect for Doflamingo, and then it makes your leader, it turns into a 1k. So yeah, even if it's in hand or out on field, Carrot becomes a 1k in the end. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think Doflamingo needs this. What else is it for then? I can't think any other leader that uses this. Because Doflamingo already has like Boa and then Buggy, Perona, and Blocker Doflamingo. I don't think it needs Carrot as well on top of that. So interesting card without a home at the moment, I think. Okay, we have Goti, another Bedge card. So 3 cost, 4k, 2k counter. When attacking, you can trash up to 1 Fire Tank Pirate type card from your hand. And then bounce at 1 cost or less. Or not bounce, bottom deck at 1 cost or less. Or their hand. Okay, so you can either bounce or bottom deck something. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what that Bedge leader is in OP12. Okay, Sanji SR, 6 cost, 7k power. When this character is KO'd by an opponent's effect, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and play up to 1 character card with the Straw Hat Crew type with the cost of 5 or less. Then place the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. And on play, return up to 1 character with original power of 5,000 or less to its owner's hand. Oh, that's quite nice, right? He removes a 5k. That means, if I think about it. So your opponent was on their 5 down turn, they would have played like a 5 cost 6k or 7k, so this Sanji doesn't hit it, but it would have hit whatever they played the turn prior if you haven't gotten rid of it. I guess that's okay. And then I wonder if this is good with Marco, right? The Marco leader. So that will require 1 Dawn in your leader at least. So that would make this a 7 Dawn play. 7 Dawn play, and then Marco gives minus 2k with his leader ability. Then you can bounce a 7k power that way. Still kind of finicky. And then the other part of the effect, if Sanji were to be KO'd by an effect, you can replace it with a Straw Hat Crew from the top 5 of your deck. Yeah, that makes it really sticky and annoying. This can even like play into Sangoro or something, right? Sangoro, if you have 8 or more Dawn, it's 5 cost 6k, you can cheat out with this Sanji here. I'm not sure actually. I don't know what he's like the best fit for. Is he good for purple black, blue purple Luffy here? Because I guess you can run the strong purple Straw Hats to cheat out with this Sanji, and it's like KO prevention. Yeah, I think that might deserve some merit, fitting a slot into the deck. For now, I think I like the card, but it might be a lot more clunky than I'm imagining. We'll have to see in practice. Okay, we have Lola, it's a vanilla. Oh, she's not a Wano type here. And then Chopper, 5 cost 6k vanilla. 2k counter, the 2k counter vanilla. So it's a Straw Hat that you can search. We have a Nami character, 5 cost, 6k power, 1k counter, blocker, and then on play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 cards and place 2 cards from your hand back on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, that's not bad, right? It's a +1 in card blocker, and you do have to be multicolored so Luffy and Nami can run it, actually. I like it, right? These kind of blockers are good. It's like Queen, better Queen, actually. You don't need a Dawn minus. Yeah, it is better Queen, because you can draw 3 and then get rid of 2 cards you don't want. Infinitely better Queen. Nami is my queen. Okay, Bartolomeo, 6 cost, 7k power, 2k counter. So it's vanilla 2k. Did he always have like a dagger in his pants like that? I don't remember that. I guess he did. I just never looked in that area or had a reason to. Okay, Brook, 3 cost, 4k power, 1k counter, blocker. On play, place up to 1 character with an original cost of 1 at the bottom of its owner's deck. Huh? Okay. Pedro, 1 cost, 1k power, 1k counter. If you have 4 or less cards in your hand, this character gains blocker. Huh? Maybe it's good for like, there's like a blue Luffy leader, right? This one here, if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. So you're incentivized to go low in hand size and then Pedro becomes a blocker? I don't know. Monkey D Luffy character, 5 cost, 7k power, 1k counter. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character cannot attack. Then he has blocker. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So you play him out on 5. He's a vanilla stat line with counter and he's a blocker. And then once your hand size gets low enough, then he can start attacking. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'd rather just have a vanilla instead, right? I don't really need him to block, do I? I want him to be able to attack right away and not have to worry about having too many cards in your hand. And this is like kind of like anti-Nami synergy because you're drawing cards with your leader ability. Same with the Luffy. So when would you ever attack with them if you keep drawing cards? I don't know. Why'd they make you? Sorry, you have to exist. Okay, 1 cost, Gum Gum King Cobra. Counter event, up to one of your leaders or characters gains plus 2,000 power for this battle. And if you have 4 life, less cards in your hand, that card gains another plus 2,000 power. Oh, okay, 1 Dawn 4k counter. And then it's kind of like Radical Beam, in a way that Radical Beam needs you to be at 2 or less life. This needs you to be at 4 or less cards in your hand. And then as a trigger, it bounces a 2-drop. I think this is a good Queen card, right? I mean, I am the Queen card. You want to be the Queen card. Because Queen is incentivized to have low life and low hand size to keep healing with his effect. So yeah, you're just super defensive with the 1 down 4k counter option. Queen buff in OP11, that's crazy. But yeah, similar to this Luffy, it's kind of like anti-synergy with the Nami and then the Luffy because you're drawing so many extra cards. I don't know, maybe that just gives you more opportunity to counter down to 4 cards in hand and then you activate King Cobra. But then if you're purple, you're running Gum Gum Giant, right? And then Nami has access to L Thor on the yellow side of things. I don't know. Okay, 1 Dawn event, let's crash this wedding. On main, if your leader is multicolored, get the top 5 cards of your deck, go up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card other than Let's Crash This Wedding. Okay, so it's a blue Straw Hat Searcher, event searcher. It's similar to when you're at sea, it's purple. Give me purple. When you're at sea, you fight pirates. It's better. This is top 3, but this is top 5, but only Straw Hat. And then trigger, it lets you activate the main effect. That's better. A lot of these event searchers just let you draw. The ones where it lets you activate the main is infinitely better. Would you need to slot this in the deck though? I think there's just so many good options for both these decks that you don't need an event searcher, right? Because these event searchers are usually like filler cards or like when you really need a key piece like Sanjay and Pudding for your deck to work. But yeah, these leaders seem generic enough that you don't need to depend on one singular pivotal card. So maybe no play on this. Then we have Gum Gum Jet Culverin, 3 costs main, return it to one of your opponent's characters with the original cost of 4 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck. Then on trigger, you can bounce or bottom deck at 1 cost. 3 Dawn to get rid of a 4-drop, original cost 4-drop. So you can't cost reduce to combo it, but your opponent can't cost, what's the opposite of reduce? Cost grow, cost addition to dodge removal, but still 3 to get rid of a 4 doesn't sound too great. Yeah, I'm kind of meh on this. And that's it for blue. We'll go over purple, yellow, and black in another video, starting with this Katakuri. Alright, you can see it real quick if you can pause quick enough. Yeah, so far, well, this color entirely does not seem to benefit Nami or Luffy, it looks like. So yeah, Luffy is just going to be all the purple Straw Hats plus 9 cost Sanji, it looks like. And then Nami might play similar to Queen, right? Just play big stuff and heal, and then be really defensive and turn your lead into 7k. I like the Reiju buffs. That's really interesting to see this late, right? It was 5 sets ago when Reiju released, so we see significant support for her coming out now. I'm be interested to try these out. What else? I'm kind of meh on the green leaders here, Shiroshi and Jinbei. These cards don't seem to be too great. Maybe the yellow part saves Shiroshi. I guess we'll see that in next video. But Jinbei, not too impressed so far. Kobe also likewise not too impressed, just by the fact that it's not outright removal, right? It's still combat based, that is a little finicky. And then since we ran over all the red cards, I don't assume the black cards are going to have too much power reduction to combo with Kobe, right? The best thing is this doll, minus 6k. That's significant, but that's like the only effect that's like this. I was hoping for more like power reduction so that you can like get benefit of attacking into characters at the turn that you're playing your characters, or even the active characters, right? This Hibari lets you attack active characters. She gets minus 2k. She's like the most synergistic card of the lot. I just wish there was more effects like Hibari. So maybe it might be OP12 where Kobe becomes playable, because they like to support leaders like even one set into the next set sometimes. I say that, but Kagura was like left in the dust. But hopefully Kobe doesn't get forgotten in OP12 and there's like another Hibari-like effect. I think that's what it's missing, just one more of these. I could be wrong, maybe Kobe's actually like secretly broken, but it just didn't seem like it right off the bat after looking at these cards. There's still the black side of things to look at, so maybe that saves Kobe. I'm truly looking at these for the first time, so I'm leaving that for next time. So do take that in mind if there's black cards that you know about that I haven't gotten to yet. It's just because I literally don't know they exist yet. So my full opinion, I guess, will be truly formed in the next video that should be out probably soon. I'm not going to do consecutive uploads for this, right? I'm going to fit in my collab videos in between these, so probably the video after that. But yeah, that's my impressions for these 3 colors in OP11. Honestly, the leaders seemed more impactful than the cards themselves at the moment. But I do like some of these cards here. Like, yeah, Honestly Impact is really good. Hibari is really good. But yeah, so far, this is my favorite card. This leader just seems insane. Even back then when I did like my hype video for this card, it seemed so insane, but people were like downplaying how good he is. I think we're starting to see that those people were dead wrong. I was right all along. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of these cards so far. And then let me know if I missed any synergies or any cool interactions that maybe I glossed over, if I read things too quickly. And then yeah, just your thoughts on OP11 in general. And the video itself, I would love to have some feedback. I created this tool, this deck builder tool, just so I can make these videos a lot easier. So let me know if that is actually the case, that I didn't waste like a week developing this. And yeah, I guess that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Oh, subscribe and check out my other videos if you haven't already. And yeah, bye.
Card D Kaizoku.